Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Chronically podcast. I'm your host, Aimee Esther, and in today's episode, we are talking about balance with your physical and mental health when you live chronically ill. If you live chronically ill like me and are looking for more purpose, control, and joy in your life, then you are in the right place. This is the podcast that challenges your thinking around chronic illness so you can live the most amazing life despite extra challenges. Are you ready? Let's go. Hi, friend. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're talking about balance. So often, my clients ask me, how do I balance my physical and mental health? I feel like either I'm putting everything into my physical and I'm trying treatments, I'm going to doctors, and I'm doing all the things to help my physical, but then my mental health suffers. Or the opposite, I am trying so hard to focus on my mental health that I overdo it. And then I end up exhausted and sick because I am not taking care of my physical health. And I think so many people who don't live chronically ill think, oh, just put everything into your physical health and try to do as much as you can to solve for all your physical health problems. Clearly, that's the most important. And they don't realize how damaging and the extra stress that can happen to our mental health, to our emotional health. And it can be hard to see if you haven't gone through it, but I know you people who have been living chronically ill or living with someone who lives chronically ill, you can see how much it affects their mental health. I'd like to thank Ombre Lab for sponsoring this episode. Ombre Lab is an at-home gut test that will target your symptoms by learning which gut bacteria are causing your issues and help you identify foods that you should or shouldn't eat. If you're struggling with a health issue that you just can't figure out the cause, your gut could be to blame. When your body doesn't have enough good bacteria, bad bacteria can flourish. If you're having trouble focusing, maintaining a positive mood, or low energy, bloating, constipation, abdominal pain, struggling with maintaining a healthy weight, a weak immune system, or skin blemishes like acne or eczema, these could be signs of a gut bacteria imbalance. Did you know that 1 out of 5 Americans are struggling with gut health issues because of their diet? With too many refined sugars, artificial coloring, and hormone-filled fried foods, this is causing our guts to deteriorate. Thankfully, we can fix these issues with a better diet and the right probiotics. Ombre Lab makes this process really simple by offering an at-home gut test so you can know the state of your gut health and what problems it may be causing. Ombre Lab will analyze your results and recommend what types of foods you should be consuming more and what types of foods you should be consuming less. They also will use the results to develop a custom probiotic to help you treat these problems. These aren't one-size-fits-all probiotics that you will find at your local grocery store. These are personalized to you based on the results of the test. The test will ship straight to your door with specific collection instructions. Activate your kit, complete the test, and return it. Upon receiving your results, you will get a personalized food plan to help your healthy bacteria and gut microbiome, as well as personalized probiotics to heal your gut health with subscription. I found so much help with Ombre Lab to show me what types of foods are harmful and good for my specific body, and to give me a personalized probiotic that helps with my situation. I have struggled with gut issues for years and years, but these probiotics are specific to me because my gut was tested to see what it actually needed, and now I'm actually seeing some improvements to my gut health by using a personalized probiotic made just for me. So if you're struggling with the health issues I mentioned and want to see if your gut health is causing the problem, visit tryombre.com/Aimee, AIMEE. This link offers $30 off your test kit so you can try this for yourself to see what is happening inside your gut. I'd like to thank Ombre Lab again for sponsoring this, and let's get back to the episode. As always, I always look up definitions. I think they're helpful in talking about all the things. So balance, according to Google, there's multiple definitions. So it says, is an even distribution of weight enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. And how true is that with balancing our physical, mental health? Like, it's kind of like literally true. If you overdo it on one side, you might actually fall over. Like, if you're so focused on like doing more and trying to like feel as productive as possible and feel all the things you want to feel emotionally, then you might actually fall over and not be able to help your physical health. But obviously, like, not fully literally. We have to take that we do need to remain steady. Our emotions need to remain steady. We don't want to feel like we're having an emotional breakdown every week because we're so focused on our physical health. That we neglect relationships, that we neglect things that make us happy or hobbies or things like that. If we neglect that too much, we're not going to remain upright and steady. Another definition from Google said a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. And what are the correct proportions for physical and mental health? I think it's different for everyone. We're going to go a little deeper into this a little bit later in the episode, but I think it doesn't have to be 50-50. I think sometimes we think, okay, I need 50% physical health, 50% mental health. And it's not always going to be 50-50. Maybe your ratio is 20 physical health, 80 mental health sometimes. And then maybe other times it's 60 physical health and 40 mental health. It doesn't have to be 50-50. It just needs to be what works for you at that time in your life. Another definition, keep or put something in a steady position so it does not fall. Very similar to the first definition. And then the last one, I love this one. Offset or compare the value of one thing with another. I think that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to compare the value of doing something for our mental health versus how it will affect our physical health and vice versa. We need to decide, is this new diet this doctor put us on that he recommended worth the mental strain that it's going to put on me? There are times where I am all in. I am like, I'm going to work on this diet. I'm going to be perfect at it. I'm going to focus so much on trying to heal my body through diet or supplements or whatever it is that I've been offered from somebody or a doctor or professional or whatever. I'm going all in. And I put all of my mental energy in that. And then there are other times where I'm like, I cannot do that. And being pregnant recently, it was too much for me to even think about my diet because I was dealing with the hormones. I was dealing with the physical symptoms of being pregnant. I was dealing with taking care of 2 other kids. I was dealing with so many things mentally that it was too much for me to then try to be on a strict diet or to try to stick to some other treatment plan. I was like, you know what? This might hurt my physical health, but I'm going to eat what I want while I'm pregnant. I just can't do it mentally right now. I can't put in the mental energy that it takes to eat a certain way while I'm pregnant right now. I'm struggling with my mental health as it is. We're going to let that go. And for me to balance at that time is we're going to focus on different things. We're going to focus on this baby. We're going to focus on my kids. We're going to focus on my energy level and how I get through each day instead of trying to eat a certain diet. I think it's so important to remember that everything we do will lead to some stress physically and mentally, right? Any treatment we try, it might fix one thing physically and hurt something else. But for sure, it's going to be a mental challenge for us because we have to try a whole lot harder if we're on a diet. We have to try a whole lot harder mentally to remember to take our supplements or our medications or whatever every day. We have to put in the mental effort to get ourselves up and doing the exercise routine that our doctor recommended. We have to put in a lot of extra effort to fixing our sleep habits, to getting to more doctor's appointments. It's overwhelming and it's always going to affect us in some way. Some things are really hard mentally to deal with when it comes to a treatment or whatever it is you're doing for your illness. And some things are going to be a lot easier for you. It'll be no big deal to just add an extra supplement to your already routine that you've created. And then for other people, it's super hard to remember to do those things or to remember to take care of your emotional health. That can be really hard for some people. The physical health comes easy and the mental health comes really hard and they don't want to go to therapy or they don't want to get a life coach or they don't want to do yoga or whatever it is that helps them with their mental health. It takes energy, whether it's physical or mental, everything that we do. There are days where I feel so physically sick, but my brain is spiraling and I'm going crazy sitting at my house another day. I know I don't have the full energy to go out and do something, but like I am going to go crazy if I don't leave the house today. And so I do it. I get up, I pack my kids up, we go to the library, and yes, I'm exhausted after. Yes, I'm feeling a lot of extra pain, but mentally it was like, oh, I just needed that. I just needed to get out of the house today. I just needed to change up my routine. I just needed to watch less TV today or whatever it is that's making me go crazy. I need to do it. Or my house is a disaster. And sometimes I'm laying down feeling so sick and my brain cannot stop thinking about my house. And I know I'll feel so much better mentally to get up and clean, and I just do it. And I clean my house and it feels so much better mentally, even though physically I'm in so much more pain and I crash the rest of the day. It's worth it to me. And then other times it's not. And I'm feeling so physically sick that I don't even care. I'm like, whatever, my house can be a disaster. I don't care. I'll let my husband get to it. If he doesn't get to it, I'll just let it be as it is. I'll hire a cleaner instead of doing this other thing I was hoping to do this month. I don't know. I think instead I need to focus on my physical health instead of just trying to make myself feel mentally better by getting up and doing something. And people often ask me why I have kids. For me, it's just so obvious as to why. It's because I feel so much purpose and they bring me so much joy that it's worth it. They are exhausting. People who aren't chronically ill talk about how hard kids are. And I have very young kids. I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. So yes, they are exhausting. Yes, they are very difficult and a lot of work to take care of. And emotionally, mentally, they are exhausting as well. But overall, I feel so much more purpose. Before I had kids, I really struggled. I got sick before I had any kids, and I remember sitting at home feeling like, okay, I can't work right now. Working 8 hours a day for me and then crashing for 16 hours and then having to get up and do it again was not worth the physical pain, even though mentally I felt great about bringing in an income for my family. I felt great about having a way to pay for my medical bills. I felt great about doing something with my day and being productive and getting out of the house. Yet that was not worth the physical symptoms that it brought me. And so in that situation, my balance was to focus on my physical health. And I thought that that would solve all my problems at that time. So I quit my job, and then I felt like I had no purpose. I felt miserable because I was just laying in bed all day and I had nothing to do. And I just felt so stressed and overwhelmed and frustrated. And I felt like I had no purpose in my life. And then I had kids, and it brought more pain. It brought more symptoms. It brought just exhaustion all around. And yet mentally, overall, I feel so much better having kids. I feel so much more purpose. I feel so much happier. And so it was worth it. And you have to decide, is it worth it to you? Is it possible to feel purpose without having kids? 100%. So many of you follow me who don't have kids, and that's what you want to do. And you feel so much better not having kids. It's not worth it to you for X, Y, or Z reason. You don't feel that much of an emotional drive to it that it's worth it. And for me, I did. And everybody's different. Everybody has to decide what is worth it to you. What are you willing to give up mentally for your physical health? What are you willing to give up physically for your mental health? Because you go to the other side of the coin, and sometimes my physical health is in such a bad place that it's not worth it to do something that would bring me, mental joy or peace, right? Like doing work and getting stuff done feels so good to our brains. I think human brains are designed to feel peace and joy when we get stuff done. We just do. It feels so good to us. Today I've been doing a lot of podcasts, and it feels so good to get all this done. Even though I'm probably going to crash the rest of the day and tomorrow and the day after that. It feels so good to our brains. Yet sometimes the pain is too much that I can't do it. Sometimes it's like I physically can't. There is a point where it's like, doesn't matter how much emotional strength you have, you cannot get up and do something. And then there's most of the time, which I think that part is a little more rare, that's like extreme pain and things that you probably should be in the hospital for. Most of the time, it's our brains that are like, I just can't get up today. I just cannot make the pain worse. I just cannot make the fatigue worse. I can't deal with that today. So I would rather lay in bed all day than get up. And I think that when we're balanced, it makes it so those days don't feel so bad, right? Like days where I do just sit and watch TV all night and I get no work done and I just veg out. It's like I needed that. Like even emotionally, I feel better by doing that as long as I'm balancing it with having days where I do a lot. And I think it's important to note that we are constantly trying to battle our physical and mental health. Our mental health goes down a little bit, our physical health goes up, and then we need to push it the other way. And then we don't focus enough on our physical health, so we have to push down our mental a little bit. Like, it's a constant battle. Like, to be honest, we're always going to be off a little bit. And it doesn't mean it's a 50-50 split, like I mentioned at the beginning. Like, for me, honestly, my emotional health is more important. Like, I think for me, it's like 60-40, maybe even 70-30 sometimes, where my mental health is 70% of what I do and my focus, and my physical health is like 40-30%. Because I find that if I am not in a good place mentally, I can't take care of myself and I can't take care of my kids. And so I weigh that a lot heavier than I do my physical health. Like, even if my physical health gets worse, I find most of the time, if I'm improving my mental health, I do feel better in the end. In fact, every time. Like, if I'm in a good place mentally, I can deal with pain so much better than when I am spiraling and I'm depressed and I'm having thoughts of stress and overwhelm. Like, that is so much harder for me to then also deal with pain. Then when I'm feeling peaceful, I'm feeling calm emotionally, and I feel a lot of pain, it's so much easier to handle, which is why I made an entire course on how to handle your brain when you live chronically ill. I often hear people say you're overdoing it. Like, my husband will say that to me all the time, like, Aimee, you're overdoing it. You're going to crash. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, the point is that I own it every time. I'm like, yeah, I'm owning that I'm overdoing it today. I'm owning that my mental health is more important than my physical today. I'm owning that I'm going to be in a lot of pain later, or right now I'm in a lot of pain because I want to get this thing done. For example, when I work, I create YouTube videos, I coach people, I make podcast episodes, I post content online, I make courses. Like, I do a lot of stuff that sometimes I can be sitting, but it's still really exhausting to sit and talk for a long time. I have a to-do list of all the things I want to get done that week, and I try to do as much as I can as fast as I can. That's just how I do it. So oftentimes when I record a podcast for you, I'm recording 3, sometimes 4 podcasts in a day, because I would rather get a ton done and then take a big break than do a little bit every day. That's just how I balance my life. I typically work a ton on Mondays, most of Monday, especially in the evening I'm working. Tuesday I work pretty hard, but not quite as much as Monday. Wednesday I just do a little bit if it needs to be done. If not, I don't do much, minus my clients, which will schedule me, but work that I put on myself, that I add to my list, I try to get it done at fast as possible at the beginning of the week. And then typically Thursday through Sunday, I don't do a lot of work. I pretty much do nothing. And like I said, I like to do a lot of podcasts ahead of time. In fact, little did you know, I am recording this in, what's today? Let's look at the date. I am recording this on July 30th. Now, you're probably seeing this in October. I'm still pregnant right now. I am going to be having a baby. So by the time you hear this, I will have already had my baby like a month ago. That's crazy. Whoa. Blowing my own mind. But it's because I find that I do better when I just get a bunch done early and then I rest. Because then when I'm having my baby, I don't have to worry about then putting out a podcast episode. I will have them all done for months in advance. Now, usually I'm not this far ahead. It's only because I am having a baby. But I try to be a month ahead at a minimum. That's my goal all the time. And so I try to get as much as I can done for me at the beginning of the week. And then I let myself rest the second half of the week. Sometimes I get crazy amounts done the first week of the month, and then I take the rest of the month off. And that is my balance, because I find that when I get in the zone of something, when I start cleaning out my closet, when I start working on my podcast, when I start doing something, I just want to keep going. And even if physically it's not feeling good, I would rather just push through and get it done as fast as possible and be done with it and then rest for a week and crash for a week than do a little bit every day. When a lot of people probably are the opposite, where you want to do a little bit every single day. You want to organize your closet, so you pick one shelf every day. You pick one drawer every day. You want to make a YouTube channel? Then you film 5 minutes of a video on Monday, the second 5 minutes on Tuesday, right? Some people do better with doing little bits every day. I do better with doing a lot and then crashing. I'm just being honest here. That is my balance, and everybody is different. You need to figure out what is balance for you. And certain things I do differently. Certain things I do every day, obviously like brushing my teeth and taking a shower, stuff like that. I don't just shower one time a week and do an extra long shower. But some things, of course, need to be spread out. But there are certain tasks that I do little bits at a time. And then there are certain tasks where I get in the zone and I just go and go and go until I crash for a really long time. But most importantly, don't let anybody else make the decision for you about what is balance. If you need to change jobs because your job's not working for your balance, like me, teaching 8 hours a day and then resting for 16 didn't work well for me. But for me, it works really well to work 4 hours twice a week and then not work the rest of the week and just to try to get a lot done. So for me, doing my own business, having my own thing worked a lot better because I work really fast and I'm good at working fast and getting things done when I'm in the zone. But then I need time to rest and mentally and physically recover from doing too much. I just don't do very good when it's every single day I have to get up and do something. I kind of just get the motivation and I go and then I crash. And you need to figure out what works for you. So if you do better with like what I do, which is working a ton for a couple days and then taking a week off, you need to find a job or create a job that does that. Don't let someone else tell you you have to have a 9-to-5 job or you have to do this or with. No, you can do it however you want. You really can. And you can be a mom however you want, whatever's balanced to you. You can be an employee however you want. You can be a human however you want. Don't let someone else tell you, oh, you're overdoing it today. I mean, they'll say it. You can let them say that. But don't let it get to you. If someone says you're overdoing it, just be like, yeah, I know. This is how I work. And if someone's like, you should be doing more, you're not doing enough, you should be overdoing it every day. You should be working 8 hours and you're only working 2. You should definitely be doing more. You can handle that. Like, no, I can't. This is how I balance. And don't let anybody else tell you that you are doing it wrong. That's why I don't say my suggestion is to do everything you can on Monday and Tuesday and then take the rest of the week off, because some people that's not good for them. Maybe other people it is and it works. So you decide what is best for you and don't let anybody else tell you that it's not. All right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know how it goes and I'll see you on my next episode. Bye. Hey friend, do you find value in this podcast but want to take it to the next level? Work with me one-on-one or check out Chronically Me, the course and workbook. This course takes the things you are learning on the podcast and helps you apply them directly to your life. This course dives deeper into changing your thinking, teaching you how the brain works and how to maximize your life with chronic illness. I designed this course as a companion to the podcast. The podcast gives specific, real-world examples, and the course helps you put them into action. If you want personalized one-on-one help from me, I got you. I also offer individual coaching programs where we can talk about the problems you are facing. I'll help you manage your brain and find solutions to nearly every problem that you have. We will walk hand in hand on this journey together. Check the show notes or the video description on YouTube for more information on getting extra help from me. Talk to you soon.